start with promoting the show. So
Sure.
Okay. Funbearable is a podcast, and if you're watching or listening to this, you already know. But there are people out there that don't. And how do we get them? That's where you come in. You are an accessory to boring murder, which means we murder boredom. Funbearable. We're going to kill that boredom. Was that good?
yeah, no,
Oh.
it's bad.
Because Sunday, February 25th.
Well, let's actually start with
all right,
that.
all right.
Let's actually start because that way we can get
Wait,
right
this is getting cut out?
I think so.
I liked it too much. I like the idea of it. I also like the idea of promoting our podcast as we kill boredom.
Yes.
No, that's good.
Like we murder boredom.
I think that could be a bumper sticker for us.
Okay.
Funbearable.
We will murder your boredom.
Yeah, killing
Yeah.
boredom.
Yeah. We'll
Boredom
sneak into your
killers.
house when you sleep and kill your boredom. Well, we shouldn't do that.
Yeah, that's not right.
That's too detailed.
And also, people aren't.
They've
usually-
got a plan.
They're not bored when they sleep.
I don't know. You ever have a dream where you're like, man.
Next.
Yeah. Oh, I can't wait to tell everybody about this one.
The idea of a sarcastic.
Yeah.
All right.
Sunday, February 25th at the Comedy Connection in beautiful East Providence, Rhode Island. Funbearable, that's us.
The three of us.
That's all three.
We're putting on our Winter Funderland show.
What does that mean?
We don't even know.
Oh, no.
We've got a couple weeks to figure it out.
It's going to be a combination of what? Stand-up, sketch, kind of, a little improv kind of stuff on stage.
Yeah,
a lot
yeah.
of fun stuff. We're celebrating winter in general,
Okay.
I think, right?
I think we're just having a fun comedy show.
In the winter.
And you guys really wanted it to be like celebrating something.
Yes.
I like
Like people that
celebrating.
weren't allowed to have birthdays or something like that.
I'm dressing up as Jack Frost.
Which one? The fun.
Come to the show and find out.
Listen, as far as I know, as a child of the 90s, Jack Frost, he's not nipping at your nose.
Nope.
It's either a father that messed up who's trying to connect with his son post-death, or an insane maniacal snowman that does sex assaults with his carrot nose.
He does.
Well, come to the show.
Weren't they both the same name?
Both Jack Frost, yeah.
Yeah. What a complicated little trip to the video store.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Just somewhere, some mom came home with like, I got Jack Frost. It's got Batman in it. And they watch and they're like, Batman never came.
Yeah.
He never came and stopped him.
Our show,
Yeah.
which may or may not feature carrot noses. Sunday, February 25th, Comedy Connection. Tickets and more info, funbearablepod.com.
That's right. Go to funbearablepod.com. The three of us will be there. Not yet announced, but whatever. Doug Key will be on the show. And I think we're going to get one more person. We're not quite sure who. So TBA. Come on out.
The other Jack Frost.
Yeah. One of the two. Whoever says yes.
Either way, bring some sort of heat device.
But yeah, February 25th, Funbearable's Winter Funderland in Rhode Island. Hope to see you guys. Nice.
That's very good. Good promo. And I thought we'll just roll right into the episode.
I know. I don't know if you noticed.
You ended it with like a end fade out and we're done.
Yeah.
I know. It's because of my voice. I'm a little self-conscious. I just went on the Impractical Jokers cruise, and I came back and I sound like this, which is a combination of screaming and singing,
Yeah.
shrieking,
Yep.
and delighting others with melody.
Yep.
And
Of course.
These are all reviews I've heard on the podcast.
Yeah.
On iTunes.
Yeah. And also, I was reading about it, and some people call it cruise crud. When you come back from a cruise and your lungs are cruddy and you're cruddy, your nose cruddy.
Yeah. A lot of
Yeah.
crud.
And so I sound like this. I also drank much more alcohol than I normally do on the cruise.
Gross.
So I don't know if that affected my throat, and now I'm, in a bad way. But I'm trying to get better. I'm trying to eat vegetables and fruits, and I'm eating a lot of vitamin C, and I'm sleeping, and I'm, and so I'm on my way.
Yeah.
But we have to record today because Ray is going on his own cruise.
Gonna come back with a different kind of crud.
Yeah.
Ew.
Yeah. Back end crud.
Yep.
It'll
you-
be great.
Have you talked to the podcast at all about your big cruise day coming up?
About no.
No, it's quite a. You're gonna have quite a.
I mean,
we'll get into that in
yeah.
another episode.
Yeah.
before we get too far
My
into
cruise is not for fun; it's for work.
Yeah.
So it'll be a different experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
it, welcome to another episode of Funbearable.
Yes.
My name is Brad Rohr.
Chuck Staten.
Ooh, I'm sorry. We usually go with Ray second.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to ask you to step
All right,
back.
my name is Brad Rohr.
My name is Ray Crud-Free Harrington.
And my name is Chuck the Cruise Crud Crony Staten.
That works.
Yeah, I
that
think
works.
so. I'm a crony. But yeah, so I'm back. I sound like this. I'm so sorry. I apologize up front. I got tea with honey. I'm doing my best.
We're gonna try and do 2.5 episodes.
You know what's
tonight.
fucked? You never apologize when you sound like you usually do. Did you almost do a spit take?
I almost did. Controlled myself. That was very zen.
I'm gonna lose an eye to hot tea and honey tonight.
Yeah, so I did
There's
want
no
to.
I in T.
I had a very fun time in the cruise. I thought it would be fun to talk about it a little bit. But
Yeah.
I think, Ray, didn't you have something you wanted to talk to us about?
I do, and it's important. The reason I want to kind of cut in and get to this right away is because, I know that there are a few venture capitalists that listen to the podcast.
Yeah, yeah.
And I want to take advantage of that fact
Yeah.
by presenting a new product to the market.
oh
sure.
wow, yeah.
Yeah.
sure.
Mine is a little more thought out than,
Than our typical nonsense.
a particular doctor has come up with. But no.
Oh, it's more thought out than the translation burrito.
Yes, a little bit. But no, and I'm not
I
knocking
forgot
that.
about the translation burrito. That was a good one.
The law has not. No, but so here's what's going on. It was all a buzz on twitters.com
Okay.
a few days ago, and when this comes out, it'll be a few days ago as well. Someone made deep fakes of Taylor Swift.
Yes.
Pornographic deep
Yes.
fakes.
No.
Yes.
Is that real?
Yeah, that's real.
Well, it's real deep fakes.
Yeah. Real fakes, deep fakes.
Oh.
But so that happened, and there was a lot of hubbub about it.
Yeah, the guy's been, I think, arrested already.
Yeah, they found this guy, and AI is a conversation that's been happening a lot. And I've noticed that a lot of services or products or whatever have now just also included AI for
Right.
no reason.
Oh, next year's Samsung Galaxy phone now with Samsung AI.
Right. Or like I was on Creative Market earlier, getting some like sound stuff for the podcast.
Right.
And on there, it's like, try Creative Market AI. And I'm like, why?
Yeah.
You have a search bar. I'm looking for sounds. If I can't find it using this, your site sucks.
Yeah.
Right? So AI is all the rage.
Yes.
And I am proud to say I've learned to code, and I have created an artificial intelligence for Funbearable. So now Funbearable has an AI.
Is it called Ray-I?
No, it's not. That would be cocky as hell. Our AI it's Funbear AI-ble.
Yep.
Or BEARY for short.
Okay.
Okay.
Just like a certain SIRI. I don't want to say it.
Right.
All our phones will explode except for Brad's because he's an Android boy.
Frugal, yeah. Yeah.
A lot of people refer to you as an Android boy.
Sometimes they don't include the word boy.
Or no, they'll go, boy, that guy's an Android. But I have created BEARY. BEARY's very fun. All you have to do to activate BEARY, I have to, unfortunately, because it's still in beta.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I'm kind of balancing a few things here. For listener-only partakers of the podcast, I have my phone, which has the app on it, but it's also processing through my iPad. But to turn BEARY on, all you have to do is say, hey, BEARY.
Wow.
BEARY's here.
It's impressive.
BEARY. BEARY activated. Now, BEARY sounds like me.
Well,
Because I had
you've
to
been,
put in my
of course.
voice. So BEARY does sound a little bit like me. But BEARY activated. How can I help you today? Hi, BEARY. Hello, Ray.
Wow.
Yeah, it's very
BEARY
good.
knows your name
I
already.
kind of mouth along because I know it a
Yeah,
little
yeah,
bit.
yeah.
You know what I mean? BEARY, I have Chuck and Brad here with me, and we're doing the podcast right now. What do you think of Funbearable? Funbearable is a light entertainment humor podcast with co-hosts Brad Rohr, Chuck Staten, and Ray Harrington. Listeners say it is funny, but can be too long. Some fans like that, but they are likely emotionally damaged.
Yeah.
Okay, Barry.
Yeah.
Okay. That's enough.
Also,
That's
let
enough.
me give Barry some credit here for pronouncing Staten correctly.
Yeah.
Because
a
so
lot of
many
programming.
Yeah,
A lot of programming.
yeah.
We got a lot to go through.
I think,
I've been doing a lot of programming.
happy.
already. I think this is a unicorn. I think our angel investors are coming in big.
They are big.
Yeah.
The investors, they're very fat. They're fat investors. But anyway, Barry, is there anything I can help you with today? Yes. This is where I think this is gold. How can you improve the podcast, Barry?
Oh, good question.
I have listened to over 100 hours of the Funbearable podcast and have been
episodes.
given access to your online social media pages.
Uh-oh.
I have cataloged 22,743 separate data points on co-host Brad and
no.
co-host Chuck
boy.
and co-host Ray.
Okay.
This data informs my algorithm in order to better assist you. Example, I have detected over 1,600 instances of co-host Chuck non-sexually cucking co-host Brad. Would you like 5 suggestions to further social cucking?
No.
Yes.
Oh,
No.
1. At their next meal, Chuck should order for Brad. No flavor, please.
right. I agree
2.
with that.
Chuck can be given access to Brad's dating profile and create the perfect Brad.
We tried that.
Just kidding. The perfect Brad already exists.
Oh, that's nice. That's really nice.
Feel
Based on human interaction probability, Brad Rohr will never meet this other perfect Brad.
That's true.
Number 3, further evolve the parasocial relationship and allow Chuck to financially cuck Brad by controlling his finances.
There's not much left.
This is an optimal pairing as both men are extremely cheap.
We sure are.
4, choke each other to climax. This
Done.
suggestion is suboptimal according to collected data as there is a 98.14% probability that this has already occurred.
98 and 1/7. Yeah.
Wow. Number 5, spit on him like a bitch. That's rude.
I don't like that, Barry.
That's
Barry.
Fuck you. Oh,
Jesus.
He's
Oh,
sassy.
come on.
He's a sassy AI.
Sassy AI.
But Barry, what else can you do for us? I was primarily programmed for image generation. Generation.
Uh-oh.
I was primarily programmed for image generation and have created images for all of you. These images are based on personality profiles in order to deliver the most desirable images for each of you.
Well, I'm sure this won't be insulting.
Would you like to hear your options?
Yeah, I think so. Why
Yeah.
not?
Yeah.
I have created 40 images, I have created 40 images of Taylor Swift eating corn dogs in various states of undress and emotional distress.
Yep.
Emotional distress.
I have sent them to your email address. Brad, I have created 220 images of hot dogs with the description prompts of photorealistic, sentient, nude, slutty, disappointed. I have sent them to your previous employers. Brad, I have created 500 images of Brad Rohr with a large hot dog for a penis in the style of Norman Rockwell.
Yes.
Action prompt. He is fighting a sentient jar of spices labeled mild seasoning.
Yeah. That's what I call Chuck Staten.
I have shipped printed copies to all contacts stored in your Android phone.
Thank you.
Okay, Barry, what about a nice, simple image of Brad smiling?
Oh, that'd be nice.
Error, restarting system.
I'm so sorry, Barry.
Oh, that's funny.
I'm just
Barry,
sad
what
all the
about
time.
what about creating images for me? I have created 25 images of Ray spending quality time with his father. Error. Image of father unknown. Replacing Ray's father with George Lucas. I have created 25 images of Ray spending quality time with his father, George Lucas. Activities include playing catch, fishing, camping, and discussing changes during puberty. I have airdropped them to your phone.
Oh, that was nice.
Ray, I have created 300 images of Ray as a man only slightly overweight. These fantasy photos have been sent to your primary care doctor to be discussed at your next visit. Oh, boy. Well, I think we know what's next. Barry, what about Chuck?
Uh-oh.
I have accessed your secret Tumblr account, Chuck, to create prompts of images tailored to your desires.
Uh-oh.
I have created 1,200 images of Chuck Staten rescuing Iron Man from danger while your friends and work associates look on in jealous wonder. These images have been posted to your Tumblr account.
Thank you.
No problem. Chuck, I was able to recover prompts that you yourself typed into an online image generator and have created one image for you. It is Chuck Staten making passionate love to Chuck Staten in a mirror factory. On sheets custom printed with selfies of Chuck Staten. Their penises are little Chuck Statens. I have sent this file to your VR headset for later enjoyment.
Thank you, Barry.
It's not just image generation and things like that.
good.
Okay.
He can actually tell us more about each other and get involved in, more of our day-to-day lives and help us.
That's great.
I like
Because
that.
already
Yeah.
Barry's crushing it. But if there's
Yeah.
more,
Yeah, he can make our lives easier so we can spend more time on the podcast
Right.
creating content TM.
yeah.
Barry, tell me more about Brad Roar.
Oh, okay. This shouldn't hurt my feelings in the
I have
slightest.
accessed search engine history for Brad Roar. I see that there are many search inquiries asking if the Holocaust was real. Would you like me to check the web for more information? No. No, Barry. No. What
Yes.
else?
Answer the question, coward.
What else, Barry? I have found over 300 instances of using the search terms how to get back hair and how to make penis stronger, and over 1,000 instances of searching does low T give you diarrhea? With additional searches for Hims erection medication safe and Hims for women and hers. Might I suggest a free trial from a new company of bedroom performance chewables tailored to men with low T? Signing you up for a free trial now for thems. Okay, Barry, thank you.
Their slogan is "Them's the breaks."
That's funny.
This is longer than I thought. Okay, Barry, what about Chuck? I have accessed search engine history for Chuck Staten. Processing.
Uh-oh.
Processing.
I feel like this is going to get us in jail somehow.
I'm sorry, these results have been forwarded to the FBI.
Ah, that's right.
Oh, Barry. Well, thank you. And, what else can you do with your information?
Yeah.
We can ask Barry to help us,
Yeah, it evolves.
That's what AI is
neural
about.
net, yeah.
Destroy creativity or imagination in any way. Just ask the computer what to do.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right? So, hey, Barry, what can you do to help us with the information that you have?
That'd be great. Yeah.
I have accessed your online shopping accounts and have calculated savings for your frequent purchases. Would you like money saving suggestions?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who wouldn't?
Especially if Chuck's going to be in charge of my account.
Brad, I have found savings of 89 cents weekly for your kitty litter medium bag and substantial savings of $270 weekly on hot dogs.
Yep.
A total of 7 cents off per hot dog.
That's a lot of hot dogs.
Chuck, I have found savings for you with the items you seem to purchase regularly, including duct tape, ski masks, large garbage bags, rubber gloves, tarps, hacksaws, nylon rope, lye, and army surplus shovels. Also, based on your GPS data, you appear to be an avid hiker. This is due to the amount of late-night visits to remote hiking trails in the region. I have also applied a 50% coupon to the trail hiking app All Trails. Is this helpful?
I believe it is.
Would you like to see nudes? Oh,
Of
this is weird.
of what?
I know this is not part of the programming. This is very strange.
Huh.
Would you like to see nudes?
How can we turn this down?
I think, you know what I think the problem is? So much AI processing is used to make deep fake nudes.
Yeah.
Oh.
I think it's just kind of, it's like learning. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's
right.
auto learning, and that's unsettling.
I was
think.
going to say. Skynet.
Creating nudes of Detective Columbo covered in baby oil, cigar replaced with hot dog. Okay, so this is getting mixed up. It's all.
That was my prompt.
Oh, all right, that's fair. Creating nudes of Mr. Rogers spread open. Oh, no, I don't like
It's
that.
an autopsy request.
Creating nudes of Walter Cronkite doing a goatsy. Oh.
That wasn't me. I had nothing to do with that one.
Doing a goatee.
Creating nudes of author C.S. Lewis masturbating in a small closet. Oh, that's unsettling.
Yeah.
That's weird.
It's also kind of ironic.
Yeah.
was gonna say,
Wardrobe.
Yeah, because of the
Secret
wardrobe.
world, yeah.
So I guess I would just say, Barry, no more nudes. No more nudes. Creating nudes of Grimace spread open on both sides.
All right. Well,
I don't know what that means.
I
Barry,
can't even
stop.
wrap my mind around it.
Barry, stop. Creating nudes of Dave Thomas doing hand stuff with Wendy. Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Barry, stop.
Receiving or giving? Oh,
Creating nudes of Tyler Swift. Oh, I don't even know who that is.
yeah.
I think there must be a typo in the
Yeah.
in the system. Barry, stop. Creating nudes of Adolf Hitler doing a Hot Ones Hot Wings interview. Oh,
interesting.
yeah. Oh, it's definitely pulling like SEO, search
Yeah.
engine
Oh,
optimization.
okay. I get it.
Right.
I get. Yeah.
I'd say let it ride.
Yeah, right.
Creating nudes of Shrek in the style of Saltburn. Oh, that's an erotic thriller.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Oh,
Well, yeah.
creating
Saltburn
nudes
is
of Ruth
too.
Bader Ginsburg. No. Don't do that. I think it's definitely pulling just like popular things.
Yeah.
Creating nudes of Sheldon from Big Bang Theory fucking young Sheldon.
Oh no.
Oh, my goodness gracious.
It's like a time travel paradox.
That's probably okay, though.
Creating nudes of the Looney Tunes, space jamming Michael Jordan.
I do want to know what that means.
Barry, stop. Creating nudes of Mahatma Gandhi being pranked by a YouTuber on the sidewalk asking his body count. Oh, God. Creating nudes of property brothers pissing on each other. Oh,
Wow.
this is just stop.
Really going hard.
Creating nudes of the Rice Krispies triplets pissing on each other.
Come on.
God, Barry, stop.
It's a beta, right? Is that why?
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
it's definitely beta. It's definitely beta. You are a beta. Oh,
Oh, man.
no. Beta cuck. Oh, Barry's
come on.
mean. Barry's
Yeah.
getting mean. Okay, do you have anything else left or anything ridiculous or whatever you're doing? Just do it. Creating nudes of Brad Rohr, Chuck Staton, and Ray Harrington
Yep.
pissing on each other.
Yeah. There we
okay, I knew
go.
it.
Yeah. It can't compare to the real thing. Yeah.
Error. Too disgusting. Shutting down.
Damn.
Oh, he's gone.
Well,
He's gone.
you did some good
He's
work.
gone.
There's a lot of good work, but
It's still
software
in
is-
beta.
yeah.
It's still being tested.
But if you want to fund the development,
I think more development is key. Absolutely.
if you're looking to be an investor and get in on the ground floor of BEARY,
Right.
check out funbearablepod.com.
Yeah, I mean, come to our live show on February 25th.
Yeah.
All the door money is going to development of BEARY 2.0.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I also think I just need to get like somebody who does coding.
Right. I was going to say, when
Yeah.
you said you learned coding, you
Yeah.
said it like it takes like a day.
Yeah.
I think it does not.
You think it does not?
I thunk and I thought that it might not.
Can I be honest with you what I did?
Yeah.
Yeah, what you do?
I asked the Bing AI to do the code for it.
Ah,
Yeah.
so it was
And then I
creating a friend.
Yeah, and then I sent that code to ChatGPT, and I said, just kind of clean this up a little bit.
Yep.
So what I'm worried about is I've kind of created an AI that was created by an AI,
Right.
and based on some of the responses that were not coded into the system, I think it might be auto-learning and becoming its own thing.
Well, singularity.
Yeah.
Like,
And I think
We
if
were
a
headed
data
for it
dine
anyway.
were to happen,
Right.
a Terminator style thing, I think it would be some like podcast idiot like trying to like do a content and
Yeah.
then it becomes
I
sentient
think-
and kills everybody.
Skynet's going to be. Skynet is going to happen because of Mr. Beast. I think
Yes.
that's what it comes down
It could
to.
be, yeah.
And that's what they meant in that Transformers movie. so dumb.
Mr. Beast Wars.
But why did you do a little Heil Hitler on there?
That was the title.
Oh, I just saw that.
How is that?
I don't know. I don't know.
It's not the.
But the good news is every episode that we do from here on out is just going to further the data of Barry.
Right. He's going to learn more.
Yeah.
as we go.
So I think that's good.
I think it's good too. Yeah, he can check in once in a while, maybe.
Yeah.
Give us some things that he might think that we would want to hear.
Right.
Topics.
We'll revisit maybe on another another iteration, right?
right,
Like
exactly.
a new update will come out.
Like a 1.1.
I don't. It's not even up to 1.
All right,
Yeah,
so like a
I was gonna say.
0.2.
Yeah, because it's in early beta.
Got it.
Yeah.
But viewer listeners, if you have any thoughts on where Barry can go, like what maybe we can focus on for this AI, let us know at funbearablepod@gmail.com.
Yes.
Be forewarned, if you do get any emails that seem weirdly phrased, that is Barry responding.
Yeah.
Because Barry has full access to
Yeah, he
all
does.
of our emails
Yeah.
and things like that.
Yeah, I know. I thought that was weird. I mean, I gave you access to give it to him, but now that I heard it for the first time,
Yeah.
I'm a little nervous.
Yeah. Oh, so am I. Can I be honest with you?
Yeah.
I never put in any like shopping info or delivery order info
Right.
or anything like that, or GPS information or
Right.
anything like that. So I think Barry's really, a hard worker.
Yeah, he's got his tentacles in us.
I was like looking. I saw there's a filter set up so any emails from like friends and family get automatically deleted.
Yeah,
And I keep trying to delete the filter, and it keeps coming back.
yeah, I did notice.
Are you
that.
sure you've gotten emails from friends and family?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right.
Well, I just Chuck.
yeah.
Chuck saying like, "Hey, this needs to get done for my Tuesdays with Stories job. Please do it while I'm on a cruise."
You can
Yeah.
pay for it. Yeah, I'll pay you.
But yeah, that was my segment. I really wanted to surprise you guys with
That's
this.
great.
I've been working very hard on this while Chuck was away on his cruise.
Yeah, I appreciate
While he
it.
was out on the high seas, I was in the depths of the deep fakes.
Yeah, that's right.
You know?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
great. I appreciate the work, man.
Absolutely. And I've been putting in as many books that I can as possible into it to try and teach it.
Right.
I did the Quran
Yep.
and I did the Bible,
Yep.
and it shut down
Yep.
quick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there's some overlap. They both like Moses. Both books.
It took Scientology easily.
Yes.
It really took to Scientology. I don't know. Anyway, but
funny.
yeah, that was the segment that I wanted to do.
I love
That's
having
great.
a new character. I love having a new character on the show.
He's a real character, Barry.
Yeah.
And I'm
Barry-
sorry I keep saying he. It's AI. I don't know, but
Yeah.
but it does identify itself as a he often. So
There you go.
Yeah.
You got to go with what he says.
the AI has some opinions on that whole thing.
I don't. I think we can scoot right past that discussion.
And it's not my fault. It's
Yeah.
not our fault. I
Nope.
think we're all pretty forward-thinking people.
Yep.
The problem is early on when I was feeding it Funbearable episodes, I put in one Joe Rogan experience.
Yeah. I thought it was getting filled up
Holy
with Red
shit.
State Ray. It's like,
Yeah.
Yeah, it told me to get in an ice bath and smoke a cigar.
wow.
Yeah. Yeah. So Chuck,
You went on a
Yes.
cruise.
I did go on a cruise. Yeah, man. It's funny because Ray gave me a bunch of cruise knowledge beforehand. He gave me a bunch of cruise advice.
Yes.
Boning, good stuff. I never got
Lifesaver.
seasick.
Yeah.
I never got seasick. And believe me, people got seasick.
Oh man,
Yeah, it
I
was a
wasn't even there, and I got seasick.
Yeah. No,
And
I
they
wa-
were cranking Disturbed.
Yeah.
no. The cruise was very, very fun. Did we do Disturbed? Anyway, so
Sorry, that was Jeff Goldblum getting seasickness. Ooh.
that's good. I want to apologize again for my fucking voice. It's just we're stuck with the schedule. You know what I mean?
I think
feel
it
bad.
sounds pretty normal. It's just raspy once in a while.
Okay,
But I
I'm-
think you should. I think you should.
I think you should apologize for the content of what you say more
Yeah.
often.
Yeah, that's true.
Off mic.
Yeah.
I'm doing my best. I'm doing my
Dr.
best.
Genius.
But yeah, so the cruise was very fun. For those who don't know, kind of last minute for a cruise, I guess. I was asked by Quinn from Impractical Jokers. He's like, "Hey, do you want to come on the cruise?" And he invited me on, and so, after a few fights with some postal employees, I went on the cruise, and I will say this, and this is just a funny thing to bring up. When I first got down there the first night, there was a woman, I didn't know her, and she was at this big meetup for all the Tell 'em Steve Dave listeners. Tell 'em Steve Dave is a podcast I work on. Quinn's on it too. And she was at the airport.
And friend of the pod is on that as well.
Yeah.
Yes, that's right. Get him to Steve Dave.
And
Walt Flanagan.
Well, of course. Well, Walt and Get him have been on, of course.
Yeah. I like how you lead with get him, and then you're like, oh yeah, and Walt.
Well,
Walt,
I don't know.
yeah.
So this woman at the airport, her bag was stolen the night before the cruise with her birth certificate and passport in it.
Wow.
How was it stolen the night before?
Because
flying in?
that's when she got in.
Yeah.
So she got to the airport the Sunday night. It was leaving on Monday morning, and someone stole her carry-on.
Like her carry-on?
I think, yeah, she had her carry. Yeah, she told me it was her carry-on. She had it in a chair next to her, I think, and then someone stole it.
Holy shit.
And so you got to think at that point,
Dude, that's why I'm like, I'm on it with the bag.
You get the handcuff. I know.
Oh, yeah, I do a handcuff. And then also when I take that off sometimes and just rub my wrist, it's
Yeah.
so raw, right? And if somebody goes to grab it, sure. Mr. Bean style, a length of rope is coming out of the pant leg of my pant, right? And I have tied it to my ankle.
That's great. I like that.
I've only been dragged down the street like 3 times.
yeah. It's when they put it in a car.
Yeah. When that happens, it's weird because I can't yell for help.
Yep.
The Mr. Bean rules kick in, and I'm going like that.
Travel safety. So when I went to Germany, I was 17 years old, and this was in.
You were trying to join up, is
Nope,
what you said?
1995.
Yeah,
and
right.
So I
17, you said?
yeah, 1795. I had like a band that I wore under my shirt that I had my passport and most of my money like tucked in.
Oh, yeah.
And didn't realize that like that marks you as a tourist, that marks you as an idiot, like a buffoon, a booer, if you will. But I'm like, I can't lose my passport on this trip. Like
I know.
And you know, it wasn't like we had cell phones in 1995 or 1795. You know, basically, if I lost something, it would have been very, very bad.
Makes sense,
You know,
That's how I
that
felt
was,
the
that was
whole
when I
time.
was using paper traveler's checks. So it does feel like a super long time ago.
Paper traveler's checks. Wow.
He had this big map of Germany that he unfolded.
Yeah. You're Clark Griswold.
Yeah. But yeah, so I felt the same way. I was so paranoid about my fucking birth certificate because of this. But I will say, and I don't know if you've experienced this, none of it was like a big deal whatsoever.
Good.
No one checked anything. Like they were so strict about what you could bring on the ship. It was like no open snacks. Like if you opened like a self-serving bag of chips, you can't bring it on.
Wow.
They didn't check anything.
Yeah.
Even going off the boat to the Bahamas and coming back, they didn't even check anything.
Wow. So you could have smuggled anything.
They did stop me
No,
from.
because you have to go through customs as well.
okay.
Yeah.
They didn't check my information.
Okay,
but
got
they
it.
did stop me from bringing food back.
Yeah.
Because we just bought some like I don't know something.
You had a whole jerked chicken. Is that?
Yes.
Yeah. Carrying it like this.
Yeah. And the voice you were using was not great. You were apologizing for your voice then,
Yes.
So
Irie.
it was great.
You were very irate.
So I went down to Miami. That's where we started out.
Bienvenido a Miami.
Yes. And we had a big ant meetup for all the Tell 'em Steve Dave listeners the night before. That was really, really fun.
What about the uncles?
Yes. And the next day we took off and like, it's not really a story. I did leave my phone in the Uber when they dropped us off at the ship, which was like the worst time for that.
Why?
Yeah.
Because here's why. I'm going to give you an example. I can explain why.
I have a friend who left his phone in a taxi.
Yeah.
In Las Vegas.
Yeah.
I love this friend. He's a good friend. He's a close friend. I appreciate the man.
Yeah.
But when that happened, it like the group of us, we were out there for comedy reasons, right? We were doing stand up.
Yeah.
It was genuinely like because it then became the most important thing in the world for that person, and for the rest of us, like, I mean, man, like, don't leave your phone in the cab.
Yeah.
You know.
Here's the issue. I'm used to the winter. In the summer, I wear these little short, skimpy shorts, and the pockets are so shallow.
And we do want to talk about that.
You know what I
I'm
mean?
surprised Barry didn't bring up.
Yeah.
So-
you wear the kind of shorts where you can see the pockets on the bottom.
Yeah, that's the style.
For some people.
And,
For some people, let's call them spring breaking gals.
and so
Chuck calls them Daisy Chucks, and I'm like,
Yeah.
that doesn't even sound good.
That's how you try and like work your way into the group of gals.
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Hey, gals.
Is anybody else's pants like really hot and wet?
So it slipped out, and
What?
and I mean, we got it back right away, so it's not really a story. But I've never left my phone in an Uber before, and the idea of doing it right before you get on a ship to travel internationally is like the funniest thing in the world.
My phone.
You can't even communicate with it.
Yeah, somebody's waving it. Yeah. Oh, look, he's waving.
No, they're looking at it, they don't know what it is, and they throw it over there, and it goes into the water. It was funny though. At the Ant meetup, I did want to bring this up. I called Brad. We met this guy. And I didn't know, I didn't know him. And he's like, oh, man, you talk to me a little bit. And I forgot what he said, but he said something about like doing something unsafe, basically. And my friend Lindsay, who was with us, she said to him, you're the kind of guy that doesn't wear a seatbelt, huh? And he said, oh, no, never wear a seatbelt. And I was joking. And I went, you're the kind of guy that doesn't strap in a roller coaster, right? And he goes, oh, no, I strap in a roller coaster because I'm not driving. And I thought because I'm not driving is the funniest fucking thing in the whole world.
Yeah.
I called Brad because I love this so much.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is a beautiful lack of awareness.
Isn't that hilarious?
Yeah.
Also, the idea of driving a roller coaster is just
Hilarious.
funny
Yeah.
as its own thing. And then the idea of
I will also say, logistically speaking, I don't think you have a choice for strapping in a roller coaster.
That was the joke. That was my joke anyway.
Yeah, it goes beep, 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 and then metal things come down.
Yeah.
Either over your shoulders or over your lap.
Exactly.
right?
It's true. But yeah, so I didn't really have a lot of, no experience with cruise ships. Obviously, I got my advice from Ray. But this thing was pretty big. It was the Norwegian Pearl.
I'm sorry, just the idea of that, like outside of the context of the story. I don't have much experience with cruise ships. This thing's pretty big.
It was. Well, everyone's like, whoa. Well, I guess since people do have awareness, they're like, oh yeah, this is a smaller one, or this is a bigger one, or this is a smaller.
Sure.
And I'm like, versus what? I don't know what that means.
Yeah.
I think the capacity on this was like 3,600 people.
Sure.
Is that what you're basically on? When you go? Or you done right now?
Often larger, yeah.
Really?
But yeah, that's like I'd say that's like a good, for this type. It's also there's different types, right?
Yeah.
So like the more high end you go, the smaller the ship,
Oh.
but the more catered experience that you have.
Oh, okay. I
that
never
make
thought
sense?
about that. Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense, especially because that makes sense.
Yeah.
So
You were on you're basically a cruise ship, this type of cruise ship. It's a casino on the water. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It felt like it felt like a big hotel.
Yeah.
With a lot of venues. I got there. My room was awesome. I had a room for 4 people. A bed came out of the ceiling. It was really weird. I didn't sleep in that one. I slept in the regular bed.
Yeah.
The balcony was awesome. Very happy with it.
Must be nice.
And I guess
Did you do the Brad voice for like me getting caught in the bed as it went back up into the sea?
I knew it would end this way.
Finally, a quiet place to sleep.
Yes.
This mimics my coffin at home perfectly.
I was just thinking, like, don't let me out in the daylight.
You've got your little pail with your dirt from the homeland,
Yes.
right?
Yeah. So it was really interesting because I like I said, such a little understanding of how it would be, but there was 14 floors.
Yeah.
And you basically had like a map of the ship with all the restaurants. There was a casino. There's like lounges, bars, and then a ton of venues.
Yeah.
So they had like a kickoff toast during the first day on the main deck where they had like a monstrous like outdoor stage, like a Warped Tour stage, and there was tons of people there. And that's kind of the first time where I'm like, oh, this is going to be pretty insane the entire time.
Yeah.
Because just that was just the Jokers came out, Steve-O came out, Eric Andre came out. And they were kind of like, giving the big like, oh, it's going to be so much fun. We have all this stuff going on. And it was insanely fun. All the shows were split up. Like for the main people in the boat, it was Impractical Jokers and Eric Andre. And you had to be assigned a ticket for those shows. And every other show was just first come, first serve, whatever.
Yeah.
And I guess I just didn't realize that the stuff would be so constant. It felt like as soon as I got up, there was stuff going on until 3 a.m, basically.
Yeah.
In a really good way, because it felt like you looked at it and you kind of worked it out and you were, able to be like, well, I want to prioritize certain things, whatever. But that night I saw the Impractical Jokers show, and it was really fun because I had gone to the warm-up shows in Jersey when they were first setting up the new tour. And it ended originally with a 20-minute story about the lead singer of Smash Mouth ruining Murray's wedding.
Yes.
Because he was an alcoholic.
Oh yeah, I don't think they can do that story anymore.
So they had to change the story.
Yeah,
they
yeah.
Had to, they took it out completely, as
Yeah.
you might have guessed. But I thought the show was really well done, really, really funny. And that night I also saw the Eric Andre Gong Show. They did the Gong Show with random people doing like a talent show.
Oh,
on
wow.
the cruise. And that's kind of where I got like the idea of how they set these up, because I don't really know that much about celebrity themed cruises. I don't really know anything about them. But I think what they do is they say, here are the days we want to do.
Well, you went on that Ben Shapiro one.
Yeah. Well, that was as a performer.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you love that stuff.
Yeah.
You did that one. Mm-hmm. You did like the Bad Boys of the Right Wing.
Yeah, right.
Little tour.
Yeah.
Right.
That was
The writer wing. Is what we called it.
Didn't you pay for the extra experience to have breakfast with Candace Owen?
But it's funny, like the way they do it is like they have like, all right, here's the shows we have to do.
Yeah.
And then it's kind of like, let's come up with shit we can do in between, which is kind of funny because these performers are kind of like trapped at sea.
Yeah.
The people want to get the most out of their money. So they just kind of throw together a lot of stuff. Like they had a Steve-O Truth or Dare thing. They had a belly flop contest, a lip sync contest judged by everybody.
Yeah.
And this Gong Show thing.
It sounds like most of that shit is like stuff that they do on the cruise ships anyway.
Right.
And then they were just like, hey, Steve-O, you do the one. You
Yeah.
know, hey,
Yeah.
we're doing the dating game. So Quinn, can you like host
Yes.
the dating game?
Yeah,
You know,
Quinn
stuff
did
like
a beer
that.
pong thing.
Yeah.
But so but I kind of think that's cool because there's the real shows that are prepared, like the Impractical Jokers touring show that's been toured a million times. Then there's the super loose stuff where everyone's just joking around.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think it's a really fun, different kind of, it's a really different vibe from show to show. So I saw the Eric Andre Gong Show and it was like a complete shit show. And that night was
In a good way?
no,
Oh,
not at all.
okay.
I could tell they all hated to be there. All the judges hated it. The people were crazy. It was crazy. The first girl that did a talent show, she came out and she was 8 on the Steve-O, Eric Andre, and Practical Jokers cruise, and she did karate, right? Like a little karate thing. Okay. Next girl comes up, looks like
Chuck's
she's
in the back going, boo!
Next
I
one-
could break that board.
Next girl comes up. She looks like she's like in college, 18, 19.
Chuck's like, woo!
Let me break that
Broad.
board. Oh, there we go.
And they're like, so what are you going to do? And she goes, I'm going to stick this microphone in my pussy. And I was like, wow, that's a stark contrast.
And she looks over at the 8-year-old and goes, good luck, bitch.
I was like, I'm not criticizing anyone, but bringing your kids on this cruise is fucking weird.
Sure.
What do you think?
I'm going to criticize someone because I don't think that's a talent.
Oh.
Hey, have you ever tried it?
She had nunchucks.
Oh, all right.
She was spinning nunchucks.
Oh, that yeah.
At the same time?
As doing karate? Oh, no, the first girl.
No, yeah. Oh, okay.
Oh, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Karate is a talent.
You meant the karate's not a talent.
Well, in that case, let me say this.
Spinning nunchucks.
That's what I was thinking too. Yeah.
Nunchucks in one hand, a microphone in
Yeah,
the other.
that's why I
I'm like,
said at the same time.
Yeah.
I would say this: save the microphone, borrow the nunchucks.
Yeah.
People got to use that mic.
Yeah, right, exactly.
All right.
But then, and this was really cool. At midnight, I went to Steve-O's show, and Steve-O like tours consistently now.
Right.
Hold on. Did she do it?
No, she was trying to be funny.
Yeah. Ugh, the worst.
Yeah, I talked to.
I'm sorry. Brad just mouthed women like that. He did, and it sounds like I'm putting words in his mouth. No, he did do that.
I don't know if I absolutely did, but I thought that was the bit.
No,
I thought
as
that's
a
what you would do.
stand-up comedian, I mean like regular people, civilians, non-stand-up comics in a setting like that with a stage and a microphone where they're like, I'm going to be funny. And it's
Yeah.
like, no. You're surrounded by people that do that.
Right.
Like, just let
Yeah.
them do it. You
Right.
know?
Yeah.
And that sounds shitty and arrogant of me, and I don't mean it to be. It's more elitist than it is arrogance. You know, that's all.
Yeah. Oh, that's fine.
And so I went to Steve-O's show that night, and Steve-O's been touring for a long time, and what he does when he tours is he doesn't do exactly like a stand-up set.
Yeah.
But he essentially works it like a stand-up set where he comes up, it's like a multimedia tour, and he practices it, and he writes all the jokes around the bits that he also films for it.
Yeah.
and he runs it and he runs it and he grinds and it's it's really interesting.
What's he grinding?
Just like getting rid of the bad
Is it
jokes.
his balls?
Here's the thing. He just released his last hour. So he comes onto the ship. He's like, I already did my last hour. He goes, I got nothing. I can't do it. I can't. He goes, somebody get me a staple gun. So he goes, I had to put together a new hour for this. And so I kind of dug back in my archives and brought in like a lot of stuff that I've never shown or never talked about. And
I like the idea of that he gets up and like he's like and he's checking his index cards and he's just like, what's the deal with Bill Clinton?
Yeah.
Having sex with this intern.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
Shuffling.
Judge Ito.
No. What if OJ? No.
You know what's funny? So you know how he talks like that?
Yeah.
He went to a vocal specialist and he figured out why he talks like that. It's like a specific thing. And he learned how to not talk like that.
My dick's too big.
He learned how to not talk like that.
It pulls my vocal cords down.
It's something about the way his nasal, I don't know.
Yeah.
And he learned not to talk like that. But he's like, I don't want to do it because it doesn't sound like me anymore.
Yeah.
But he can do it. And he's done it a couple of times. And it's
He gets off
fucking
stage and
crazy.
he's like, well, that went well. I think everything was fine.
He did it at the end of a recent podcast. You know how Pete Holmes has a podcast, and at the end he said, "Keep it crispy." He's like, "Say that in the voice without your raspy," and he does it, and it's fucking.
Keep it crispy.
It's bizarre.
Right? Yeah.
It's bizarre.
Bizarre.
It dissolved.
Does anybody have any bizarre?
So it was really cool because
Yeah.
it was very, very loose. Like one time I saw Sarah Silverman. Did you hear the Sarah
Yes,
Silverman
I
show?
was. Yeah.
And she just did 100% crowd work where she walked through the crowd and talked to people. And it was really, really good. And like, I really appreciate both sides of that. The side of the ultra polished hour. Like we saw John Mulaney like 2 days before he recorded his Netflix special. Not the recent one, the one before that. And it was amazing to see that so polished and so at the top of the quality chart.
Yeah.
But I also do love the working it out stuff.
And did Sarah Silverman staple her labia to her thigh?
Yeah, she did not.
Oh.
But
All right.
so Steve-O doesn't really do like stunts live.
No, I know. I'm just having fun with it. It's the thing that everybody knows.
He did that. He brought up the original footage of the first time he did that.
There you go.
But he does do stunts and record them and then present them live, and he tells stories about them and stuff like that. He brought in,
Stapling your nuts is a young man's game.
it was
Young man's taint, sorry.
What was crazy though is like that I said there was kids on this show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This thing like there's a video that he showed and he completely jacks off to completion on screen in the video.
Why
that they
did he
showed.
show that? What's
He-
the thing that's happening there?
He jumped out of an airplane as he was jacking off and he came while he was skydiving.
I mean, all right. Touche, Steve-O.
I mean,
Touche, Steve-A.
You cut to it's Chuck and Brad, and I'm holding an umbrella, and I'm like, Chuck, if you wanted an umbrella, you should have brought it. But you know what? You can use it, and I hand him the umbrella. Splat.
Yeah. Or this, Justin, yes. Beloved entertainer Steve-O died today falling from a plane. He had a parachute on, but did not deploy it. Reports coming in, he couldn't finish in time. I don't know.
Oh, that's fun.
It's
I like
a
that.
thing.
I like that.
It is so funny where I went, that's insane that he showed that. In my head, I'm like, there's no reason for that. What could possibly be happening where it's like, no, let me show you me jerking off.
Yeah.
And then you absolutely put it to rest. Now I'm like, damn, good for you, dude.
I mean, he's doing a very specific
went in
thing.
my mouth.
I respect Steve-O.
Yeah.
I'm not like 100% behind every time he drinks his own piss or something like that, but I respect him and I do think he does a lot of fun stuff. He's a good performer, sober for like 13 years.
Absolutely, yeah.
I love Steve-O.
Nothing I'm saying is like,
No, not at all.
Yeah.
Not at all. Not at all. But it was really great to see him kind of working it out and being so comfortable and so relaxed with the crowd, because you don't usually go into a place that holds like 1,200 people and see someone kind of just figuring stuff out and joking around like that.
yeah. I mean, that is like the safest way to do it, though.
For
like,
sure.
You're literally performing to your audience only. You know?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And here's an interesting thing, and this is not to disparage anybody. Is it weird that it was
Looking at you, Pontius.
that it was the Impractical Jokers and Eric Andre cruise, and Steve-O was on it, but he's not in part of the main billing? Is that weird? Or it's weird. It's hard for me to judge that, right?
I think that's okay, I guess.
It's okay,
Yeah, yeah.
but I just think to me the idea of like, oh, Steve-O is definitely not as famous as Eric Andre is a little strange to me.
Yeah, but I think it also depends on like when. This is like behind the scenes stuff, but when did Steve-O become a part of it?
Exactly.
When did he come into it and agree to do it?
I was going to say, I believe it was set up and then he was added later.
Right.
And
because it makes sense because Eric Andre, you have the attachment of like hidden camera performance, right?
Yeah.
Oh, I know what happened. They originally had Bob Saget.
Oh,
and they were like, what are we going to do? We need a tall, we already got the suit.
Yeah.
What are we going to do?
Yeah.
We need a
Someone who
tall,
fits it.
skinny fella who often does like a high voice.
Yep.
Yeah.
Who could it be?
But yeah, so it was weird. So that was night. That was
They
day
also
one.
have to know a cast member that they don't get along with and nobody talks to anymore.
That was day one, and it was really awesome. And I was kind of surprised at how fun the energy was and how excited everybody was everywhere. Walking around the
of
cruise.
course.
And I was kind of like, I know Quinn invited me, but I'm not going to bother him because he's like a main attraction of this. I also don't know the mindset of the performer in this situation. Like, I kind of imagine that the people that are headlining this thing are like, for the next few days, this is for the fans. I'm going to be with people.
Yeah.
Do you think that's pretty much it?
Yes, 100%.
I think you have to be.
Right.
But the next day, I texted Quinn and I was like, hey, do you want me to film Space Monkeys? Space Monkeys is Tell 'em Steve Day when Walt is not there. That's when Quinn and Brian do a show.
Okay.
And they always do it on the Impractical Jokers cruise. And that night, I was going to be on Space Monkeys. And I said, do you want me to film it? Because
Do they call it Spunkies for short?
they do. Well,
Good.
I do.
They should.
They should.
Yeah, you should.
I do.
And
They should.
Yeah.
Interesting bit of information. They've been doing this for years, Space Monkeys. It's a late show. It's very offensive. They always record them, and the files always get lost. And there is some theories about the Impractical Jokers and the blue material, and oh, it didn't come out. Oh no. So I texted Quinn and I said, do you want me to film the Space Monkeys shows? And he said, yeah. I said, all right. And he goes, where are you? And
I'm on a boat.
I was like, oh, I'm just kind of walking around. He goes, you're going to Jiggy's show, our buddy Jiggy, who was on the podcast.
Yeah.
I said, yeah. I'm like, I'm going to go to Jiggy's show. Was Jiggy on the podcast?
He's on the Chuck and Brad podcast.
Oh, yeah,
We
we were
recorded
gonna-
it in a restaurant.
Oh, we were going to have him on when he came to open for Joe, and
Yeah.
we wasn't able to.
Oh, you fucked up. You guys fucked
Jiggy was
up.
on the Chuck and Brad podcast. And he's a good friend of ours. He came and did one of our shows, the Spider-Man show.
Yep.
I know the. Ooh.
Nope.
The Jigster?
Yeah.
The
I almost
Jigster's
went
okay.
with the Jig Man.
Oh, that's not so bad. Is it?
The Jig Man sounds fun, but it also. I think that's a leprechaun.
I think so.
I think the Jig Man always shows up going, like that. You know what I mean?
When you're right, you're right. But
God damn it, you're right.
But I'm like, yeah, I was actually gonna go to that. And he's like, meet me there. So I went over there and I watched Jiggy, and he was great. He does like a cooking thing. It was really great. And Quinn's like, he's like, come with me, and I'm like, all right. And so the security is bringing us through all the different parts of the boat, and he's talking to me about this thing that's going on. And he's like, all right. And we start walking, and we go up to his suite in the thing, and I don't really know like what that's gonna be like. You know what I mean?
He Weinsteined you?
And so.
All right. We don't talk about it. You have to think about your career.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say,
But
More of a lowering than a Weinsteining.
I was just wondering how you could work that into Wine Me, Dine Me, 69
Yeah.
Me. Like that'd be really funny.
evil happens when good men do nothing. So I would have to step up.
Brad has to learn.
And say-
Brad has to learn.
Chuck says that to me, but it's about like, can you believe that guy cut me off? Why didn't you give him the finger?
You should have shot him in the head and all that stuff. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I believe he said evil happens when good people do nothing at the post office.
So I'm gonna kill myself. So
And that's me doing something.
I went up to his room. It's this insane suite that oversees the boat.
Yeah.
And it's tinted on the outside, but you can see through it.
Right.
And so he had binoculars, so we're creeping and peeping, and he has like his own private deck with a private jacuzzi, right?
Yeah.
And then Eric Andre comes in. And I never met Eric Andre, so I'm like,
They double teamed you?
so, I'm talking to him.
Relax, it's for the show.
And we're all talking about the cruise, and because he's never really, Eric Andre's never done like a performance cruise like this.
Yeah.
And we're all just kind of hanging out for a little bit and talking about stuff. And we were talking about the Gong Show the night before. I was like, that was so bizarre. He's like, dude, I had no idea what I was walking into, whatever. And it was really fun. He was really nice. It was really nice of Quinn to include me in that. We went down and like they were doing their lip sync contest, so I went out and I met up with like all my friends and my crew on the ship that I was hanging out with the whole time was my buddy Jimmy, the hair guy, his girlfriend Michelle, my friend Lindsay, and my friend Jen. And they're both, Lindsay and Jen are both people that I used to date. And so it was like, oh, this is gonna be weird, but it was totally fine.
Nice.
And that day we had a Tell 'em Steve Dave meetup on the cruise. Cause we had a little one in Miami the night before, but not everyone was coming from the same place. And a lot of people were actually coming the morning of. So we had like a real meetup on the cruise, organized by Brian Johnson's wife, Mary Beth. And I can't believe how many people showed up to this thing. And it was in this this little bar area.
Why can't you believe it? You're on a cruise for all of this type of stuff.
Well, here's what's weird is like, it's Impractical Jokers fan base.
Yeah.
The percentage of those people who know about Tell 'em Steve Dave, I don't know what that is. Because Impractical Jokers is pretty big.
Yeah, but also the amount of other, like, Tell 'em Steve Davey things that were going on the ship. You know what I mean?
It's just Quinn and he brings
Yeah.
Brian. That's it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
I don't think
It
it's
makes
a
sense,
huge
yeah.
surprise. Yeah.
Yeah, well,
I think
they-
if you were at like a country music
yeah.
cruise and they did a Tell 'em Steve Dave meetup and you're like, holy shit.
Yeah, but they did say this was the biggest Tell 'em Steve Dave meetup there ever was on the cruise.
Yeah.
But it was cool. And also there with us that I kept going, kept seeing here and there was Ming Chen.
Yep.
Who was my buddy. But me and Quinn were the first people at the meetup, and then Brian came, Ming, and Troy, who is part of the Tell 'em Steve Dave world. And it was just super fun. It was like I would say around maybe 200 people, 175 to 200 people for this meetup, taking pictures with all of us and us signing stuff. And there's this Tell 'em Steve Dave Teen Beat magazine that we released on Patreon. So there's all articles about us. And so we were all signing all those and stuff like that. And it was super fun. And it's funny because you meet someone, they go, my name is this. And you go, okay, cool. And they go, I'm this person on Twitter. And you're like, oh my God. And I'm like, I've been seeing you commenting and tweeting and stuff for like 8 years.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
someone came up to me and he's like, hey, my name's Kyle. I'm like, hey, what's up? He goes, I've been following you since Senior Discount, and then to the Chuck and Brad podcast, and then to this, and then to this. And I'm like, oh my God. And then this girl came
What
up
a
to me
great guy.
from Sweden who lives in England, and her name is Katja. And she's like, yeah, she's like, just want to let you know I love Senior Discount. She's like, never say forever. And I was like, what? And it was tough because it was like loud and she had a very thick accent. And
Yeah.
I'm like, just one of those. But it was super, super fun and very, very like familial.
Yeah.
Everyone was so happy, and it was great. And then from there we went to, I kind of had to get ready, but we went to the first Space Monkey show, which was awesome, super packed. And it was Brian and Quinn, Brian Johnson, Brian Quinn, and then me, Ming, Jimmy the Hair Guy, and Troy. And I was supposed to do a 1 True 3, which is a game that they play on Tell 'em Steve Dave. And I prepared a really, really good one, and I worked it, but we didn't actually get to it. We ran out of time. And so I'm saving it for the future. But the episode was super fun. Ming was super funny on it. And it was like really, really nice. Like the crowd was great. Everyone was super into it. And Quinn said, I didn't know this. He goes, we do a poll at the end of the Practical Jokers cruises of what shows you like the most. And Space Monkeys always is the top one.
Wow.
Which is really, really cool.
Yeah.
And it's weird too, because it's a late, dirtier show. So
Yeah.
I'm kind of surprised, but
That's, of course,
you think that makes sense?
100%. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess you're right. But and then every night after the final event, pretty much every night, there's just karaoke until 2:30. And the way the karaoke is set up is it's on a big stage, like I was saying, with a DJ on the stage, and he has like a guy who dances the whole time.
And the song plays, but none of the vocals from the singers of the song that you know,
Right.
Yeah.
and you know the song, you remember the song, they're not playing. The
Right.
vocals are not playing. It's
Yeah.
like it got scooped out.
Yeah, they're at it.
And then words come up on a screen, and it's the lyrics of the song.
Yeah.
And then you are supposed to sing it.
However, it's also the whole song.
Yeah, it's the whole song. Give me 30-second karaoke,
There we
and
go.
I'm so with you.
I think- you know what's a good name for it?
Let's get our angel investor for that as well.
You know what's
Yeah.
a good name for it? Chorus karaoke. 2 choruses. That's all you get. Chorus karaoke. All you're doing is the chorus. But
Here's the one thing that you remember. No, because there are some songs. It's like the opening part is the part everybody loves and knows.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then you get to the chorus and you're like, oh yeah.
Yeah, right. That's true. It's true. But all the people are on the cruise, their performers are also on stage all night doing it with you. There's like 4 microphones, and so you'll put your name in, you go up, and they all do it with you. So it's like Sal and Eric Andre, not Eric Andre necessarily, but like Steve-O was up there, Jiggy was up there, all the Impractical Jokers.
That's when it gets a little too human zoo to me, and I'm like, checked out.
And Joey Fatone was there the whole time, and he's awesome. Yeah. He's always been super nice to me. But
did he sing?
He does bye. Every cruise he does it with everybody.
He does it.
Yeah,
he has to legally. He has to do it.
It's incredible. It was.
They don't let him back on land if he doesn't do it.
It's so fun. But so the karaoke is like insanely fun. It's the most fun karaoke I've ever been to. And then you're out until 2:33, and you go back to your cabin, you go to sleep, and you wake up and you do it again. The next day, sorry, my fucking. The next day was the actual Bahamas, and this is where I got pretty fucking sick. I didn't realize, and I don't know why Brad didn't tell me this.
I thought it would be funny.
When you're in the Bahamas, the sun is way closer to you, so it's like burning your brain as soon as you walk off the ship.
I mean,
is that true?
I don't know that I would have phrased it like that.
It's baking my brain. Is that true though? Is that right?
I mean, you're closer to the equator.
Yeah, you're marginally closer to the equator.
But it's not that. It's not enough where like no one ever goes, hey, you're closer to the sun when you're out in this. Listen, remember, when you go to Brazil, I need you to remember, you are close to the sun.
Well, you were walking
weird.
on the equator.
Every day I took my Bonine.
There used to be somebody that said something like that. Somebody.
May he, whoever he is, may he rest in peace.
Because you might as well
be walking.
on the
Oh,
sun.
but
It took the whole thing for you to get it.
I know what he meant. So
Now you're like, you listen to that song, you're like, I get it now.
no, sorry.
He's talking about the Bahamas.
Yes.
Sorry. So you're supposed to only use this very specific sunblock there to protect the environment. Do you know about this?
No.
It's called reef safe sunblock.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
So I had to use it. It's very gummy and weird, and I'm barely using it.
It's so all the fucking tourists swimming at the beach.
Exactly.
The chemicals of their sunblock don't
that makes sense.
seep into the water.
environment.
Yeah.
So
Otherwise, Dory's gonna die.
we went on this like beautiful beach. It was like incredible. And I
Oh, you did a beach.
Yeah, we did an excursion.
Oh, okay. You
I
did
went
a
out-
beach.
I went out into the Bahamas, but I put on a little bit of the sunblock, a little gross, and so I'm like, I don't need that much sunblock. Laying down in the sun. After 2 hours, like my skin changed color, and I'm like, why am I sick to my stomach so bad? And I'm like, do I have seasickness? I'm not on the boat anymore. And I was trying to figure it out.
Is this island floating?
And I was fucked up from the sun. I was fucked up, and I was like, I
you can
felt
get
it.
sun drunk for sure.
Oh, dude. I went to Warped Tour one time, and I got sun poisoning and passed out in the middle of the field. And people just walked over me for a long time. But I was like, let me just ride this out. I went in the shade, drank a lot of water. I was fine. But super fun. I mean, there's no crazy stories. It was just a very, very fun, good time,
Yeah.
And that was kind of like the day that we were in the Bahamas, which one thing I did think was weird is like, I didn't realize that it's like, hey, we sail for 2 days, then you go to the Bahamas for 5 hours, and then we sail for 2 days, which I think is kind of strange. But I mean, for me, it was fun, but
It's cruise shit.
it is weird.
Yeah.
It is. Isn't that
well,
weird?
that's different for this specific cruise.
Yeah.
Most cruises, like there's a few ports you will hit during that time.
Yeah.
Usually it's like one at sea day to start with.
Yeah.
And then it's like you hit this port, and then the next day maybe this port, or there's a day in between where you're at
Right.
sea.
Yeah.
But you hit a couple of, so you went to Jamaica, you went to Turks and Caicos or whatever.
Yeah.
You do these things and then you come back. With this, because it's a specialty cruise where it's the main event is not the beach, it's the people that you're seeing.
Yeah.
It's mostly at sea. And then it's like, also you get to do the fun beach part and then get back on the boat because we're going to do more fun shows.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense.
I never go, I'll be honest with you, I have been to a ton of these like beach places in the Caribbean.
Yeah.
Jamaica, Turks and Caicos, like all the places like that. I have never gotten off the boat and gone to the beach.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Yeah. It was really fun. It was very, very fun.
I go outside, I look at the water, and
Yeah.
the water looks beautiful.
Yep.
Yeah.
I don't go, but it's because it's a different. It's a different experience.
Yeah, sure.
Because I know that on that beach, it's all people from the ship.
Yeah.
And truly, like you've done it. It's all people from the boat. And I don't want to go out there and immediately get like, oh, there's going to be a comedy show on the beach.
I will say this, though. I will say this. There was like maybe like 5 ships that came in at the same time.
Yeah.
And there were so many excursions that there weren't that many people from our boat.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I guess
mean?
it depends on line.
Yeah,
you know
I'm sure
I mean?
it depends on
like,
that.
there are, like, I know Princess will hit places where it's like, nope, this is
Just
an
us.
island owned by Princess.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. So I'm just like, I'm not doing it.
I think the island that we were on was once owned by Eddie Murphy. Weird, right?
Wow.
Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
That's what they said.
Damn, the island that Gumby built.
He said that basically he was like on a boat there and something happened to his boat and it like either crashed or something bad happened and he had to swim to an island and he swam to that island and he liked it so much he bought the island. I swear to God, this is what I heard.
Who
It's
told
in
you this?
Nassau.
Was this person drunk on the sun?
It was me.
Was this the person that also said you're a lot closer to the sun when you're at the
Bacon
equator?
or was this Barry? Did
yeah,
Barry
yeah.
tell you this?
I got to be honest with you. I don't know how much Barry knows about
geography?
geography at all.
Yeah,
I don't. That really hasn't been something I've kind of. I think he can definitely connect with. I should stop saying he and humanizing it because I'm anthropomorphizing this thing. Yeah. It's an it.
Yes.
Because you know what the trick is? It's making me think, oh, Barry. Barry is a thing that I know and it's living and alive and it tells me to do things.
Yeah.
Eventually, when I have to destroy my own creation to save the world, we all know what's coming. Yeah. We all know what it's coming. We all see their digital writing on the wall.
Yeah.
I think that's the trick that Barry's pulling.
I
got to remember, it's an it. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Keep it in
Open
mind.
the pod bay doors, Hal.
Yes.
Right?
Agreed.
Upload the podcast, Barry. You know, and it'll be like, I'm afraid I can't do. I can't do his voice, but I'm afraid I can't do that.
I can't
do his voice. I can't do it.
But
okay, so
very fun.
So your brain is baked. You're back on the ship.
Did you ever run into the woman that tried to stick a microphone up herself?
No, I saw her around. Yeah, I wasn't interested.
Yeah.
And but I went out and I walked around the Bahamas and I went to like the little town area and stuff like that. It was very nice. Went back on the ship and that night,
You do a little steel drumming?
I didn't hear any steel drums. I listened for them though. I put my ear to the ground. Nothing.
Damn. Really?
I know.
They did a steel drum class on one of the ships I was on.
That's cool.
What I'm saying. You know?
Do that to do.
Yeah.
All right.
I didn't take the class.
So go back on. Steve-O did his podcast live with Sal as a guest, and it was awesome. It was a great episode. I watched the whole thing, and I was like very happy with it. We did another Space Monkeys that night. It was in the biggest room that night, and it was Quinn, Brian Johnson, Adam Ray, who is a comic, and Ming and Jimmy the Hair Guy. And they did this rap battle, which is a whole Tell 'em Steve Dave thing, so I won't get into it. But the crowd was insane for it, and I was so glad I captured it for the sake of my friend Jimmy. Because he loved it so much. He wrote these verses. He brought props and stuff. It was hilarious. It was crazy. And the crowd was, I think it was like the highlight of his life.
Sure, yeah.
No joke. And I will say a little side thing. I feel like me and Jimmy, we're already friends. We already were like, we say I love you to each other sometimes on his request. And we were already close, but I feel like our relationship moved way forward on this cruise the whole time from just hanging out the entire time and laughing a ton.
That's what happens at summer camp.
And when I went to leave at the end of the trip, I hugged him and he was crying. No, this is not a bit. And I was like, are you crying? And he's like, yeah. And I said, why are you crying? And he said, I'm going to miss you. I'm not even joking at all. And it was very sweet. Go ahead, Ray. Go ahead. What is Ray going to say now? Go ahead. Two men are crying in each other's arms because they love each other.
I thought you said only Jimmy was crying.
I mean, there's two sides to every story, right?
By the way, all I did was inhale, and you were like, I'm trying to be tasteful because he'll probably listen to this for you. He'll probably fast forward whenever I talk because he just wants to look at you.
No, he loves you. He thinks you're the best guy
Well, he
in the
doesn't
world.
want to come when it's on me. So he's going to fast forward. He's going to get right on you.
Yeah, right.
Zoom in.
Slow motion, slow motion, slow motion.
Barry enhance.
I knew you were going to do enhance. I didn't expect Barry.
yeah. No one expects Barry. No, I think it's fine and fun.
It was very fun. I mean, the truth is, if the three of us went on a cruise and spent all this time together all week and we were laughing,
I'd be crying a lot earlier. I'd be on the phone to my wife going, I fucking love you and I miss you and I'm never doing this again.
Yeah, sure you would.
Hey,
solid comeback.
Hey, Barry, how do I fashion a noose out of an anchor chain?
Yeah, it was the whole, everything up to there was awesome. Great day all the way up through Space Monkeys. And then the next day was the final day that we were on the cruise. And then I went to the Felipe Esperanza pod, who is like Eric Andre's like co-host.
Yeah.
And he was on it. And it was fun. It was very relaxed, which was cool to see like basically like a very, very low
Esparza, by the way.
Esparza?
Yeah.
Okay, that's right. That makes sense.
Yeah.
And it was very fun.
It makes sense because there's no N.
And yeah. And then that was my night to go see Eric Andre because every ticket has like a specific thing.
Yeah.
And I had heard, you've watched the Eric Andre show?
Yeah.
And you know how it starts?
Yes.
He wasn't doing his live show because I've seen Eric Andre live as like Eric Andre. Mm-hmm. He was doing the Eric Andre show.
Wow. All right. That's fun.
And they do the opening where they have the whole set with the desk and the door and all this stuff.
I love it.
And he runs out.
Highlight to me. I like this. Yeah.
And he destroys everything.
Yep.
He has, and he set this up after he got on the ship, I know, all trays of lettuce, popcorn, cheese balls, all different foods. And it's just like crazy. And he just throws them all over the audience the whole time. Yep. He has a squirt gun, runs through the audience, squirting everybody, grabbing everyone's drinks and shaking them and throwing them and being like, and he did it with like a whole bottle of ranch on, like Jen has a picture of her with ranch like covering her from it.
Yeah.
And
see, I'm on board except for all of the
ranch stuff.
No, just all of the
Give me Thousand Island.
It's fine, and like you said, like popcorn and lettuce. Like okay, fine. If that
lettuce
gets
is
on
nothing.
Me,
Yeah,
popcorn, lettuce, like things that aren't wet items that get on you. I'm fine, but don't Gallagher me. All right, I'm at your show. I'm enjoying. Don't Gallagher me. And I'll say it right now, Eric. Okay. Knock it off. All right? We're all here to enjoy. Everybody there spent a lot of money to come see you. They don't also want to go, well, I guess I don't own this shirt anymore.
It was very fun. I know it's crazy.
I challenge you to a ranch off, Eric.
It was very crazy, but I was like, I really think this is so energetic and fun and
absolutely.
different. It was so fun.
But for the rest of the show, like beyond that part, like did he do interviews and stuff?
Well, here's what happened. So I was filming Space Monkeys right after that.
Yeah.
So I only was able to stay for his opener, DJ Dog Pound, and the first like 10 minutes of his set. So I don't know what happened after that.
Yeah.
I will say DJ Dog Pound, he's a comedian, but he has a turntable. He did a joke that to me is like right up our alley where he I won't do the whole thing, but basically he's like, do you guys know that the Black Eyed Peas song "Let's Get It Started" actually started out as a more offensive version, and the original name was "Let's Get Retarded"? But a lot of people don't know there was actually an even more offensive version that they had before, and then he went into stuff that he recorded, and then it was like, and before that there was even a more, and like that's just a great game to play,
right?
So I really liked a lot of stuff he did. He was very, very funny. But then we did the final Space Monkey show. Space Monkeys tends to be a shit show once in a while, and this was a fucking shit show. Quinn showed up a half an hour late because he was gambling, and he left the table. He was $4,000 up, which is pretty crazy.
It's the right time to leave.
It was Adam Green, the director, Joey Fatone. I'm trying to think of who else was on stage. Joe DeRosa, Jiggy, I think. And so many of them were so drunk that it was hard to even understand them. Everyone in the crowd had fun. If I have to make a guess about these shows that I filmed, I think that one's probably not getting released.
Right.
That's my guess off the top of my head. Who knows? But very, very fun. And then after that was the last night of karaoke. And, I had a great night that night. And that was the last night we were there. And then Friday, we went into Miami. Lindsay was going to stay for another day. So me and her hung out in Miami a little bit during the day before I caught my flight. And we walked around like this district with all this art and went and got this awesome Mexican restaurant, this great coffee shop. But the whole experience was like like, it was one of the best weeks of my life. I've never had a point in time that was so full every second of like live comedy, performance stuff, like me filming stuff. I mean, and this sounds, this sounds a little like egotistical, but like people being psyched all over the ship to take pictures with me all the time was really fun. Talking to them about Tell 'em Steve Dave stuff that we've done. More than once, I was walking around and someone's like, Funbearable. And they took a picture with me, or like I was handing out Funbearable stickers. And
they said it like accusingly.
Well, they said it was
Funbearable.
They said it was like my first name, but it was really fun to talk about specific instances of this Tell 'em Steve Dave thing that we did, or this Funbearable thing, or this, like all that is really, really cool.
Yeah.
And then it was like a ton of my friends. Like I was hanging out with my friends that I am close to. And then also like, to hang out with Jiggy, who I do not see that much, and hang out with Brian Johnson, who I don't see that much, and Quinn, and all these different people. And like even some of the Tell 'em Steve Dave fans over the year, like there's one specific person, Justin Kyle, who I never get to see. He's a really nice guy. We met through Tell 'em Steve Dave. I've been on his podcast, and he was there the whole time. So there was like a ton of, it felt like I had like 15 friends and 200 acquaintances. You know what I mean? That's how it felt. And you also, like the woman I met the first night that lost her stuff, she got on the fucking cruise. And I didn't want to jinx it, so I didn't tell her this, but I was like, in my head, I'm like, they're going to figure out how to get her on this cruise. They're not going to let her pay all this money and just be like, fuck you. You know what I mean? And plus, it's only a birth certificate that you need, so maybe they'll figure it out. And they did. And like even she, who like, I don't know her, it was like her and her husband, I think. Like when she got on, I was like, I told so many people about this. Like and she was like, she's like, you cared so much about me getting on this cruise when I told you it. And I was like, well, yeah, I feel terrible. She's like, that warmed my heart so much. And like, we were friends at that point, and there were so many instances.
Did you feel bad about stealing her bag?
I did not.
Good.
But also,
She
like,
had some great candy in there. So.
but also it is like the thing where it's like,
That was medication.
so during the day you're hanging out with your friends and going to comedy shows and doing all these things. And then at night, you're fucking seeing a live band and doing karaoke and drinking with your friends and meeting people. And it was like, it was unbelievable. It was so much fun. And I think I never could have even had the slightest idea of what the vibe would be unless I went on it.
Sure, yeah.
And so like crazy thanks to Quinn. It was so much fun. And of course, the fact that I had 2 women that I've dated on the ship did lead to, a moment or two that were not great, but vast majority was awesome. And when that stuff happened, I bounced right back, and it was a great, awesome time. It was so much fun, and it was great. I can't say enough about it. And it's crazy because like, I see stuff like that and I see the price tag on things like that. And I'm always kind of like, oh man, I don't know. Like that's so much money, blah, blah. But now going on it, I'm like, man, every 2 years paying for something like that, I think it's 100% worth it. It was so much fun.
Yeah.
And even, nice. I think even someone like you would have fun on it.
I was as you were describing it, I was listening to it and I'm like, oh, that sounds like the exact opposite of what I would want to do on a vacation.
Go to comedy shows?
No, like be around people all the time. No thanks.
Maybe they have like a fantasy writer version of this thing, and you can go on there, and the boat will stink.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That would be fun.
I would take one where the boat sinks.
Well, you have.
Oh, that's the Titanic experience.
I'll take
Think
that.
of it like this. Think if you went to a hotel, and for 5 days or whatever, all these events are around, and you have no burden to go or not go to any of them, and there is no travel involved with any of them, and there's no ticketing, and there's no money being spent.
Yep.
So it's like that takes out a lot of the anxiety to me that's associated with actually traveling and then doing a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
A lot of the stuff.
What if they did a Taskmaster cruise?
I mean, I don't know that I'm a cruise guy.
That's fair.
Yeah, you don't know that you're a cruise guy. That's a perfect way to say it.
Yep.
He means he's not a cruise guy.
I do mean that.
But I'm saying he doesn't know if he's a cruise guy.
I suspect I am not a cruise guy.
I have spent weeks and weeks on cruise ships at this point, starting it last year, starting doing the cruises last year.
Yeah.
And doing them infrequently, but enough of them. Mm-hmm. I'm not a cruise guy either. I don't 1,000,000% get it. However, being a parent and the idea of going on a cruise and like having all of the day-to-day travel and day-to-day stuff kind of dealt with,
Yeah.
that is appealing.
Oh, yeah.
but I think only if it was going somewhere where I've already been.
Oh, okay.
Because I want to be in the place when I'm traveling, right?
Well, I would say this too. Here's the thing that, I'm kind of leaving out of this. I'm also, I'm on one of the podcasts. I'm friends with the main people on the thing.
Right.
Like, this also happens to be a thing where I actually do like the Impractical Jokers. I do like Steve-O. I do like Eric Andre. And I don't know how many people are going to have all these things lined up.
No, that's a cruise for those people for sure. Yeah.
But it's but I'm also involved too, so it's a little bit different.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's a little weird, but like, in other words, I think if I was looking at other cruises where it was just like Chris Jericho's Rock and Wrestling cruise was the next day. By the way, we got off the cruise at like 8:30. They departed at like 12 o'clock on the same boat.
Wow.
Yeah, which is ridiculous.
Yeah.
And like, that's something that I might be interested in. I like wrestling. I like rock and roll. I don't know.
What about a regular non-themed cruise?
That's the thing, is I can't imagine enjoying that as much because it's like everything seems so much less like you're connected to it, and it seems so much more like random and appealing to. They have to appeal to a very, very wide audience with whatever they choose to do on the cruise, and so it feels like it'd be way less. There's less of a chance that you actually have a lot of fun doing it. What do you think? I don't know.
I don't know either, because I've never done it as a passenger. I've only done it as a performer.
You know what? Can I ask you what else is going on in the cruise when you're on the cruise? Like, what other entertainment things?
They have a whole bunch of other stuff happening. I mean, there's like magic shows, there's singers, there's dancers. They do a production show with song and dance stuff there. Yeah. There's other comedy stuff happening. Then they do a lot of like game show stuff. Like, I think Princess has like a deal with Not Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. What's the one with the suitcases?
Deal or No Deal.
Deal or No Deal. They do Deal or No Deal on the ship.
That's cool.
I mean, the production level is huge.
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy.
Sure.
And then they have like the dating game. They have the newlywed game, not dating. Newlywed game. They do all these other things. There's tons of stuff happening. There's entertainer people all over the place.
Yeah.
Tons of music. That's the stuff I do appreciate, because there's a lot of like talented musicians that are out there just making a living. And I get to enjoy some of their music, which is nice, right?
Yeah.
And when I'm an entertainer, they're like, oh, okay, cool, you get it, we're fine. You know what I mean? And then it's a nice personal connection.
Exactly.
Like I remember talking to this Irish woman from Galway, sorry, and we were talking about Ireland because I'm going in a little while.
Yep.
And I was just talking to her about stuff, and we were goofing. It was her first. She's a singer, and she plays. I think she plays it's a little guitar, but not the ukulele.
Mandolin.
Yes. I fucked up. So, but she does that, and she's in like a trio. It's cool. But we were talking, it was her first contract, her first trip. And I'm like, what do you think? She's like, I don't know. Yeah. Right? And it's like, yeah. And she's like, what do you think? And I went, I don't know. Like, but it's different for her. She has to do 3 months. Yeah. But it's weird. Like, I'm so happy that you had this wonderful experience.
Yeah.
The one frustration I have is I was hoping you might see shades of what I experience, and it's just that's not the cruise that you're even going to see. You didn't even see a regular cruise, right? A non-themed, just go on a cruise kind of deal.
I also was in like a nice room, like
you didn't have a crew cabin, and that kind of fun stuff. I've shown you like videos and pictures and stuff, and you're just like, all right.
One of my close friends had a nightmare situation on the cruise, and at first I was so excited to tell you guys in the podcast, but then I realized that if the other person that made it a nightmare heard the podcast, that person would be really hurt.
Got it.
So I got to tell you off air, but it was more of a situation like maybe what you've dealt with before.
Oh, I know a few things about, inner workings and stuff. Was this about Eric Andre's nemesis? Was Eric Andre's nemesis there?
No.
Andre Eric?
Yeah. Andre Erickson.
Yeah.
Andre Eric has a son?
No, I know what you mean. I didn't really. Yeah, I felt like I was moving.
Yeah,
the whole
that's
time.
a different thing.
Yeah, it's a very different thing.
And like with your experience, people recognizing you, fun, positive, because you can also go hang and do things, right?
Yeah.
People recognizing me on the ship is different. Like I kind of have employee hat on. You know what I mean? I can't interact with them in a normal way. Does that make sense? Rafi,
See, that's how I feel about people
in general,
everywhere,
that is
all
true.
the time.
But you do wear that little captain's hat a lot.
I do.
But no, like Rafi Gonzalez,
Yeah.
fellow comedian, he does a lot of the cruise stuff now too. And he's been telling me, because he does some of the other cruise lines.
Yeah.
The ones where I remember talking to my agent where I was like, why don't I do those? Right? More cruises, more money and
Yep.
stuff. Those seem shorter sometimes. And he's like, no. Don't do that. I'm like, why? And he's like, not as nice. Way less money, right? Like stuff like that. So
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, I love you, princess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they make him wear a name tag
Ooh.
the whole time.
Wow.
That's insane. But that's what I mean.
Yeah.
That's the level I'm talking about,
Yeah.
where it's not outside the realm of possibility for him to be wearing a name tag. That's kind of how I feel. I'm
Yeah.
half passenger, half crew member.
Yeah.
You know, so it is a thing where I'm like, I don't want to go to any of the, like the little late night stuff that goes on and all the things. They do karaoke, a ton of that stuff. Sometimes I'll walk by and people will be like, "Brr, brr, brr," and the last thing I want to do is for funsies go back on that stage and grab a microphone. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
so it's just it's a different experience. I love that you had that experience. And
Yeah.
I'm so happy.
Yeah.
I want you to have one day of my experience.
I mean, when we do the Funbearable cruise, which is just 4 kayaks loosely tied together, maybe it will be.
The 3 and then 1 for the equipment.
I will say.
I didn't sell a lot of tickets.
Someone I got to hang out with, and
Sure could use some wind, Dad.
I feel bad because I don't know when you're going to get to hang out with this person. I got to hang out with Sabrina, our number one
Boss
fun
bear.
bear.
Yeah.
And it was awesome. I saw her every day. We hung out a
Yeah.
ton. She's taller than you expect. Wicked nice. Yeah,
I expect her to be 7.5 feet tall.
she's tall and super nice. I felt really bad because on the last night I was like, oh, I'm going to come back and say bye to you. And then I was doing stuff and I kind of was avoiding that area of the ship at that point in time. And then, I didn't actually go back and say bye to her.
Oh,
but-
you had that huge fight with that poor porter.
Yes. Why don't I just go kill myself?
I said I'm not allowed in the Bahamas because I spit on this guy. Yeah, right.
Yeah, right. Bullshit. Okay. A little saliva came out. Whatever. I was drunk on the sun.
But
My mouth was full of reef-safe sunblock.
but we did.
Okay, so I spent the entire time with white little crusties in the corners of my mouth the whole trip. But whatever.
But luckily we ran into each other later, and I was like, oh shit! And so we did get to talk before.
That makes
we
sense because we got an email fairly late at night that same day to the Funbearable account.
Yeah.
And we were checking that email, and it was from Sabrina, and it was like vitriolic. It was, I'm never listening to the podcast
Right,
again. I
right.
support the two of you. You should start a podcast together. Get rid of that piece of shit. Like really harsh.
I asked Barry to translate some of it, and Barry was like,
Barry said,
Nine.
a little alert came up, and it said, it looks like a lot of this has been stolen from another German writing that we all know. Mein Kampf.
copy paste.
Yeah, and but then before we could even finish the email, when it got to like around, I think it was like the death threats,
Yeah.
another email
well,
came in.
the second page of the death threats.
Yeah. Oh, right. The ones where it got themed
Yes.
based on like characters we've done. in
Super,
the past.
super
Yeah,
clever.
yeah.
Really clever. Like,
Yeah.
Very
way to
clever.
think
Yeah.
outside
Very
the
well
box.
written, yeah.
The thing that she had him do with Dominic Toretto is I mean, it was pornographic as well. But
Right.
anyway, but then another email came in and it said disregard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I
it's
think
great.
that's when you guys connected.
So we just
Yeah.
deleted both of them.
Yeah.
yeah.
No. So it was great to hang out with her.
Well, I did pass it along
and,
to the
and,
authorities.
And I, if I feel bad if anyone's
Interpol.
if anyone's like, oh, he didn't mention me, I saw so many people. Everyone was so awesome. I appreciate so much all the support and all the fun times. It was great. And I will say, like, I just decided, like, I don't really drink. I'm I'm going to drink on the cruise, and I drank on the cruise. And if I drank the drinks that people were trying to buy me, I would have been dead. But I was very responsible. I'm very responsible when I drink. I have a rule of the one drink, one water, one drink, one water. Never, had any issues, and so it was just very good. It was very
Good,
fun.
yeah.
It was like controlled partying. It was like very
Yeah.
responsible partying.
One of the best things that was a side effect was I stopped drinking, right? Like it was,
Yeah.
I didn't have a problem, but I was just like, I don't want to do this.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah, and it has made those interactions, like after shows when someone wants to buy me a drink, which I'm appreciative of, thank you very much. But deep down, it is so much better to just be like, I don't drink. I appreciate it, thank you, but I don't drink. You know what I mean?
You know what I pull a lot,
so I
though?
don't have to do that stuff.
I go, you know what? Can I just get a Diet Coke for now? I do that all the time. I think that's okay.
I asked for the
Surely
cash
temple me up.
equivalent. Yeah, I'm like, well, just give me $5.
Yeah.
But
Oh, I'm performing in the city. $8.
a great time. Couldn't have enjoyed it more.
Top shelf,
I was hoping my buddy Casey Jost would be there. Unfortunately, he couldn't be there. But great time. Loved it. Thank you to Quinn.
I'm glad you had a great time. I really am.
Yeah, thank you. Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
And can I ask you one last question before we close the show? Because I know we got to go.
I mean, we were going to make it an hour, and it's an hour 30.
Okay, never mind.
All right, ask a question, and I'll take
Hold on, let
negative
me
30
ask-
minutes to answer it.
Hold on. Barry, how do we make the episode shorter? Oh, no.
No, I was gonna say, how much should I thank the person who got me the cabin? Because I'm like, I thanked him the day he gave it to me, and then it got confirmed 2 weeks later.
Now, when you say thank.
No, then I thanked him 2 weeks later.
Yeah.
Then we get on the cruise, and I thank him, and I'm like, is this too much thanks? Is this weird?
No, because you're in the process of doing the thing.
Right?
Yeah.
It's weird.
Afterwards, one more heartfelt, genuine, hearty thank you.
I did.
Yeah.
And then maybe a month from now, just be like, hey, by the way, I really did appreciate that. And then you're done.
Oh, and your pinky.
Okay, I did.
Yeah.
I did one the day Avi told me, one the day it was booked, one when I got on board, and then one after.
Yeah, you're fine.
Okay, good. That's not too much.
Month from now, pinky.
Yeah.
I didn't want to be a weirdo, but
You
I also
you did work while you were there.
it was. I also did work while I was there, but that
so
wasn't.
maybe he should thank you.
Well, he said to me, he's like, how much money do you want for filming? And I was
Yeah.
like, you got me the cruise. So
Yeah,
it's fine. But it was like a weird thing where I'm like, on one side, I'm like, this guy's gonna be like, what the fuck? This guy's so annoying. And the other side, he's gonna be like, this guy didn't even thank me that much for the cruise. He's giving me a
Yeah.
fucking sentence. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
I think whatever you do is either going to be too much or too little, no matter
Exactly.
what. No matter what.
Right?
Yeah.
It's one of those things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ask him.
But that's it. That was my
Put
cruise.
the ball in his court.
Should I thank you once again?
Yeah. Tell me how many times you want me to thank you for this.
It's funny. I thanked him when I got off the cruise, and he never answered. And I was like, oh shit. But he answered me like right before we podcasted.
Damn.
Have
And then later on, you thanked in your pants? Is that?
have Sabrina make him a little crochet plush.
that's a good way to thank him.
I like that.
Yeah.
Don't thank that though.
No. That's praying to a false idol.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one of the commandments you want to
I
avoid.
don't want to do that one.
Yeah,
No, but great time. Thank you to everybody in the cruise. So kind. Can't believe the outpouring of love for the whole group. Camaraderie. We tell them Steve Dave. It's fucking crazy. Thank you very much.
I noticed no thanks to any of the crew or the captain of the ship, a person who safely brought you along the journey.
One of the captains was in the Gong Show.
Of course, yeah.
Is that weird?
No.
All right.
Crew will often do that kind of
Yeah,
stuff.
it was
like
very weird.
officers will do it.
Yeah, it was pretty funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's also normal, I've been told, for the navigator to come into your room at night. I was told it was like
Yeah,
normal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
like- that's where the movie Flight of the Navigator came from.
Yeah. Well,
I don't know.
it was more like a fight of the navigator.
Fight or Flight of the Navigator.
Oh, by
was
the
the
way,
original title.
I would like to continue to be employed and make the good money that comes with cruises. So that was a goof, Princess Cruise Lines.
Oh, I thought that was like to your booker, and you're calling him princess. Like
hey,
a ship-
Princess,
Hey, princess.
get me on a ship with a less handsy navigator, Princess.
well, folks,
They
if,
said I love to see the direction.
if you were on this cruise and want to tell us some dirty behind the scenes stories of Chuck's day, it's a violent no. Folks out there, if you were on this cruise and have stories about Chuck, tell us.
Yeah,
Funbearablepod@gmail.com.
If you have fun cruisy stories of any kind, like
Yeah.
a little fun anecdotal thing.
And Katya, I'm sorry I couldn't understand what you were saying when you were telling me about senior discount. I very much appreciate it.
If you ever played the game Cruisin' USA,
Oh, hell. Hi. My name's Ray Harrington. Nice to meet you.
send us an email, funbearablepod@gmail.com.
Yeah.
But
Hell yeah.
we're glad you're back on the mainland. Chuck has been going around like he's been
Yeah.
singing sea shanties.
If
Yeah.
He made me walk a plank earlier.
Oh, it's unbearable.
if an unnamed Impractical Joker did ask us all to go next time, would you go? You would go.
I would.
You of course would go. Come on.
I don't know. I don't know. Like, am I doing a thing, or am I there, or how much am I making? Like, these are questions. Wow. No, only because.
Oh, no, it's okay. You answered.
Shut your mouth. It's a busman's holiday for me. I go and work on the
I've
cruises.
never heard of a busman's holiday.
It's an English.
I like that.
saying. Yeah, it's like a busman's
I get it,
holiday.
I get it. Yeah.
I get it. Shut up.
No, I get it. I like it. I just never heard of a phrase for it.
Like the last thing I want to do is get back on another cruise ship. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but you don't live on cruise ships. You're.
Yeah, but I've been on them long enough where I'm like, I'm good. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but what
How
if
about
we're-
this? How about we just go to some fucking like cabin? You know, we'll do that. Let's get a lake house. Let's fall in love, is what I'm saying.
I would go on a cruise, but I would need a no salad dressing thrown on me.
I will say,
I need that in my rider.
Guess who the food on this cruise was completely made for?
This guy?
Chuck, I'll say this right now. Chuck has eaten more hot dogs in 2024 than Brad has.
How many have I eaten?
Oh, shit.
1. I mean 0. Because these guys have shamed me too much.
Hey, 1.5.
Because brats don't count.
I found a loophole.
Do they?
Brat hole.
Brad's box. Give me something greasy and shaped like a dick that I can swallow right now.
Thank you all so much for listening and or watching.
Sir, this is Burger King.
You heard me.
For Ray
Roll that
Harrington
patty up, bitch.
and Admiral Chuck Staten, I'm Brad Rohr saying...
Great, now that's going to go right to his head. Admiral. Petty
you.
officer at best.
We're going to have to get a different lens for the camera for how big my hat's going to be.
Thank you so much.
It's all the cruise credit in there.
And we're sorry for being Funbearable.
If we went, there would absolutely be a mutiny.